Hi everybody, thanks for coming to this Create Your Own Block Language workshop. My name is Stefano Federici. I teach computer science at the University of Cagliari. And one of my research interests is finding easy way to learn computer science. And so what are we going to do today? We are building our own block language. How? We are using the blob meta extension. That is an extension that I built that allows you to build other extensions, snap extensions, in the form of a block language. And all this is done without knowing anything about JavaScript or how Snap internally works. And before starting, I can ask you to download and zip the materials for the workshop. I'm copying, where is it? No, maybe I can do that. Yes, quicker. The download link, you can find it also in the web page of the workshop. Okay, you should download it. It's a big file, not extremely big. You should see, let me see. Oh, where is it? Okay, yes, something like this. No, not this. I think I closed the important window, so I can just paste it again. Yes, 51 megabytes. Thank you, Manuel. Okay, you can just click on download and then download and unzip the file. And inside the file, you are going to find these folders, the blob folder, the older versions, and the Snap 6.00. I put also the penultimate version of Snap in the materials, as Jens just updated it yesterday, so I don't want to have maybe unlikely but possible problems. So I ask you to use this version instead of the online version. Download is very slow here. Okay, I think we can wait. We have an hour, so I'd like you all having all the materials in order to follow the workshop at best. Yes, everyone is editing at the same time. Yes, I think so. Maybe the Go file sharing website is not so powerful. When you are done. Okay, maybe I can go back. Oh, where is the, okay, meeting controls. Okay, I had lost the, okay. If you can give me your thumb up when you're done. Yes, Jens, Dylan, okay. Simon, good, very good. And also we have invisible participants. So maybe they're, okay. I saw a thumb up. Thank you, Joe. Sorry, just got up. I'm not camera ready. Okay, no problem. Yadga, wait on download. Okay, thank you, Vale. You can also find the materials. No, sorry. It's always the same link. No. I was saying that it was available on the Snapcom website, but I just had to put a link. Halfway. Okay, good, Nathan. Okay, but in the meantime, I think we can start with explaining the main rationales of this presentation, this workshop, and then we can go and use the loading materials. So I said we are going to build a block language. So what kind of block language is not just classic block version of classic languages like C++ or PHP, MySQL, but also maybe something more creative, like what is done in Turtle Stitch, or maybe that is embroidery patterns, or maybe assembling sentences in a foreign language, like it is done in the block language. How this is done? Well, you know that in Snap, you have a lot of wonderful new blocks with respect to Scratch that allows you to build a block language. The make a block button is very powerful. Building custom blocks in Snap is very powerful. And this allows you to build your own language by building new blocks. So I would like to give you now an example coming from the downloads. Is the block C example. And we are going to run it just inside Snap 600. So please tell me if you are still downloading the materials. So if there is someone that is late in the download, okay. I don't see I'm late in the chat. No, okay, so I think everyone is fine. So now you can go to the Snap 600 folder, and then you can run it locally by just double-clicking the index HTML file. This should fire your browser. Not mine. Okay, yes. Now I'm ready. The Snap 6 is much faster than Snap 5. I'm sorry that most of my tools are already in Snap 5. I'm planning to move soon to Snap 6 because Jens specifically did this change for one of my requests that I was dying with having too many blocks and embedded new custom blocks in my projects. So we have now Snap 600. We can go to the File menu, and okay, this is Italian. Let me switch to English. Okay. So we can go to Open. And then in the Workshop Materials folder, we can double-click the Snap 600 folder. Please let me know if I'm going too fast, so can I wait for you when you are ready to go on. And then we can open the Block C Snap XML. This is quite fast with respect to what is done in blob because it's based, as I said, on Snap 5. And we can click on the echo program. You can see several programs. Now you can see something that is said as obsolete because I reduced the blocks in order to make it faster and simpler. So here you have a program doing something, and you have another program. This is a very simple echo program. And you can see the C++ environment that is on an auxiliary sprite that I used to put some script not in the middle of my new language scripts. So I click on the echo, I'm moving now the chat. Okay. And how can I run the program? Well, first of all, I can just simply run the program because I have something to do before in order to set up the whole environment. This is because I'm in Snap. So let's go to C++ environment. Okay, we see that this is ready to set up everything when I click the green flag. So I click the green flag and everything disappears here from the stage. Then I go back to the C echo program. I just click it and it says enter a number. So I can enter maybe the number 5. I can press enter and it says the number you entered is 5. Press any key to continue. Okay. But if I click again the program to stop it and then I run it again, I see here an error. Why an error? Because I didn't restart the environment before running my script, my program. When I was running this program the very first time, I didn't complete it because I had to press the key to continue. So the program was already running. If I run the program again, the environment is not ready to run the program. So that is why I have to click again in its C++ environment. Then I can go back to echo, and then I can safely run it again, having another result, for example, for 8. Okay, so here I can see a lot of things, and sometimes I have to do weird operations that also could be done maybe just clicking the green flag every time before running the script. As you can see, there is no green flag in this block language because in C++ and C, you don't have a green flag. You just run the program. Okay, so let's go back to the presentation. Was that clear for everyone? Are there problems, perplexities?
I'm confused, but I think this might just be me then.
Yes, what's the source of the confusion?
I think it's just having to switch between the conference here and what you're showing on your screen and then what we're seeing in our browsers, and mine's dark on white. It's just different. I think I'll catch up, don't you worry.
Okay, fine. But if you have if you're really in trouble, please just let me know, okay? We can try to solve the problem. Yes, I know this is a live presentation, so you have to switch from what I'm doing to do what I'm doing. That's clear. Okay, so this was block C. And today we are going to see how we can use Snap to build our block language, that is the main blocks, the commands of the language, and then how to use Snap to get a closed environment, a safe environment. As you can see here, we don't have a safe environment because I can stop and run the program, and I can again stop and run it and see that there are problems that I don't understand why I can't stop and run the script again. So in a safe environment, Snap has too many options that maybe are not necessary for the user of your language. And instead, in Blob, you see a lot less elements. So it's a cleaner environment. And you don't see dangerous operations, such as deleting a maybe very important block or editing an important block of your block language, or deleting maybe important setup sprites, okay? Or maybe moving something on the stage that you are not supposed to. That is why in blob, you have a cleaner environment, and you can go from blob to snap just unlocking the GUI. So what you are going to see when you unlock the GUI, you are going to see the whole snap environment with some more blocks. So I'm going to show you this. Okay, I'm going back to the workshop materials folder, then back to blob, and then I run blob HTML. Okay, here you see the environment with missing elements. For example, in this program, we don't need costumes or sounds. We don't need the camera. We don't need other informations, menus. We have less menus. And to go back to Snap, we have just to shift click this icon, the blob logo, and then select Unlock GUI. When I click it, the project is reopened in Snap, and you have the full Snap environment. So you can create your project or directly in Snap and then import it in Blob, or maybe you can just open Snap from inside Blob, unlocking the Blob GUI. Okay, I see something in the chat. Okay, so Simon can zoom the window so that he should be able to see everything. Okay, in a split screen, very well, excellent. So this is Snap. And in this version of Snap, you have some more blocks, not many, just 4 more blocks here at the bottom of the control category. Okay. With the when loading and never stop block, we can run setup script when we load our language in the blob interface. With the when running another script and run other scripts, we can run setup scripts every time we run a script in our block language. And also we are not allowed, sorry, we are allowed to hide maybe auxiliary blocks we have created for our language, something that is not allowed in Snap. In Snap, we can always only hide the primitive blocks. We can also hide auxiliary sprites and maybe the stage from the chorale if we don't need it. We can rename the categories to more meaningful names for our language. And we can also hide a few categories if we don't need them in our language. So there are more options in the menus of Snap. So we can see now a few examples if you want, and maybe we can start from a weird language, the block ASSL language, that is the animated search and sort library. I'm sorry that to run this specific blob version, we have to go to an older version because I didn't update it. So I would suggest, if your computer is not powerful enough, to close the windows you already opened in the browser for Snap and Blob, because version 5, I said, is really high demanding for what is the memory footprint of the browser. This won't be true in version 6, so I hope to have a very, very powerful and new version of Blob ready very soon. So I'm going back to the workshop materials. Am I looking for the older versions folder? So we said ASSL. Okay. I can run inside the ASSL HTML file, double clicking. And I'm opening a slightly older version of Blob, but very similar. to the other ones. So I can go to the File menu, select Open, and always in the Workshop Materials, again, older versions folder, and again, ASSL folder. I'm selecting block ASSL XML. Okay, we have to wait a little bit. As I said, it can take some time to load everything in Snap 5 and then in blob, but I tested Snap 6 and it's almost 10 times quicker, so it's really wonderful. It's just a snap loading everything. So this is the SSL language for search and sort algorithms. I implemented the basic sort algorithm, the bubble sort algorithm, and the insertion sort, a bit more complex algorithm. I implemented these algorithms in 2 versions, one very basic with just the blocks of the language, movement block, instruction blocks, operators, controls, sensing blocks, and variables. And at the bottom, instead, you have a more complete version, in which I used also the do and comment block, this one, that allows you to see on the stage the step-by-step explanation of what is happening. I think we are going for the simpler version. And here you have blocks that can be run. For example, when you run the choose and show new random balls block, I just going to click it. Several metal balls are rearranged on the stage and their sides are selected at random. And you can also maybe move these 2 things that are, in my imagination, magnets that can catch the metal balls. So I can click it. Okay, in very first position, but maybe we can click move left. Let's see. Okay, move both magnets 1 position to the right. Okay, the magnet moved. They can move again. And then by clicking this, I'm bringing the left magnet under the ball. And I can see that in this language, the sort algorithms is expressed in an almost natural language fashion. I'm sorry, this shouldn't be bigger. I think it should be maybe larger. It would be better because I'm speaking of sides. So we start from random ball. We move the left magnet under the ball in first position. And until the magnet is below the balls, move the right magnet to the right of the left magnet. And that is done until the right magnet is out of the balls. We get the balls. If they are not in the right order, we swap the balls, or instead we just put them back. And we keep moving right, the left and the right magnet, 1 position. So to see how it works, we can just run it. Okay, the balls are in the correct order, so they are back. Okay, maybe we can just start another run. Okay, yes, correct order again, no. Okay, they are not in the correct order, they are swapped, they are put back. They are in the correct order, they are just put back. They are not in the correct order, so the 2 magnets are swapped and the balls are put back. And again, correct order, back, and wrong order, so we swap the magnets and we put the metal balls back. And we go on from the next ball and all the other balls the right of this ball. Okay, we can go maybe a bit quicker. We can increase the speed. Okay. Yes. Almost, yes. We are almost there. Okay. Too quick to put them back correctly. Okay. The balls are sorted. You can see that we can't drag the balls from the stage. We can drag the magnets. They are sprites, but you can't drag them. You can't move the monitors on the stage, the variable monitors. In order to do this, you can just go to the blob logo, shift click it again, select unlock GUI, and we go back to Snap. And everything is ready to be changed, updated by the programmer of the block language. So let's just wait a bit, because as I said, this is a bit slow. Okay, it seems that everything is as before, but now you can drag the magnets. And you can see that there is no stage here. So you can right-click the corral and select Add Removed Objects back to the corral. And so now you can see how many objects, how many sprites are at the base of this language. Okay, you can also see how the blocks are implemented. You can right-click every block and select Edit. Okay, and you see that we have a run of another balls object that now is this one. And in this object, we have a weird way, sorry, an old way of running scripts in another sprite. In the last versions of Snap, you don't have to do that. You can just run the script, selecting it in the of block. Okay, so that's what's behind the language, and you can change everything. And everything in this sorting language, animated sorting language, is done in Snap. Nothing more. You just do everything, then you hide what you don't need, and you, in the end, lock your environment. And when your user will open the project, will find a safe environment that they can use without any worries about doing something wrong. Okay, is that clear? Are there questions? Okay, well, I have several more examples for you. You can find them in the, always in the or older versions folder, or maybe in the blob folder. And in this folder, that is for a new version of the languages, you have just to run the blob HTML every time, and then load the language you like. So for example, we have a language to simulate dynamic web pages, where you can run HTML and PHP and MySQL commands. You can build your web page, okay? And you can just run the web page by clicking the code in the page. This is, for example, a PHP page. This is an HTML page, another PHP page, and so on. But we can also build not only something good for programming, for computer science, but also more creative block languages. For example, one of my students built the Storyblock language. That is a language that allows you to organize storyboards that are useful for cinema experts, in which you describe a scene by saying for each actor in the scene, if this is visible in that scene, if what's its costume, sorry, it is Italian, it was an Italian project. What is his costume, if he's saying something in the dialogue parameter, okay? So you can build your static scenes, and then you can show them to someone that wants to, with whom you want to share your storyboards. And also we have the possibility to run programs that simulate how English sentences are assembled. And when you run the elements of the sentence, you see that these elements are correct. Why? Because they can build a corresponding image and the Italian translation on the stage. And this is done on the fly by running the elements, the blocks of the language. We'll see if you have time to give you a short, very quick demo. And now we can see how all this really works by building, assembling the block logo language, a very simple language simulating the logo turtle with just a few commands available. So to do that, you can go to the workshop materials folder, then in the blob folder, and then run blob HTML. That is the last version of blob. Okay, here we go. When this is ready, we can go to the File menu, select Open. Oh, no. Oh, yes. Okay. Let's see if I can do that. Before, just to show you how this works. So the blob folder again, and then the block logo blob XML. Okay, we are ready to run this very simple logo. How? Just we can click the script and we can see that the turtle is drawing a circle on the stage. How all this has been done? Okay, we can just open again in the, blob folder, the blob HTML file. So we have an empty blob, and then we can start going back to Snap to program the environment by shift-clicking the blob icon and selecting Unlock GUI. Okay, now we have Snap, and we can build all the elements of this language. We can make, for example, a block. We can, let's see which block we are going to build. Oh, we have the bar interfering with my tabs. And for example, I can build a clear screen block. And this is just renaming some Snap blocks because as you can see, block logo is just a very, very reduced version of Snap. So this is a command, okay. And it is called clear screen. And what does clear screen do? Just clearing the screen. Okay. So now we have the clear screen block. And we can build all the blocks of block logo. How? Well, I'm unlocking the GUI of the block logo version that I opened in blob. And I can see that hide turtle is just hide. And that, for example, forward is just move. I think you know how to build a block with these parameters. So it's just a simple matter of assembling all the blocks. Okay. So I'm opening now here in block in Snap, in the Snap inside my blob tool, the block logo Snap version. It is a version that runs with no problems, but as, for example, all the blocks visible, and as setup scripts visible. And there are also setup sprites, and you can impair this version by deleting something or changing something. So how can we transform this general version that we built in Snap in a block version? First of all, we go to every category, we right-click the block area, and we select hide primitives. Okay, no primitives. We can so hide also primitives from all categories. Okay, so we can see just the important block logo blocks. Sorry, not show, but hide. Again, and hide. And again, hide. And again, the last category, hide. Okay, and we can maybe say that the sound category is not needed. So we just right-click it and select hide. Okay, empty category. And we don't need variables. Okay, right-click, hide. And we can change the name of the categories that maybe we want to call the sensing, sorry, what's in sensing? Oh, nothing. So we can just hide it. But maybe this is not hide and show, but is a visibility. Sorry, visibility. I'm unable to write today. Okay, visibility category. Okay, this is called visibility. Then what else we can do? We can maybe hide the stage because we don't need it. We right-click it and select hide from Corel. Good. And we want this script to be run every time we load the language. So we can go to control. I'm sorry, I have to unhide the primitives this time. Then I can go down and find the important blocks of blob. So when loading and never stop. And maybe, okay, fine, let's say this is fine. And the setup script, what does it do? Okay, it just clears the environment. Okay, we can do that when we load the environment. Okay. But this version of Snap is not fully, sorry, of block logo is not ready. Sorry, what?
If it's just me, fair enough, but I can't see the when loading and never stop blocks at all.
also, did you open blob or you open just snap?
I think I'm in blob, and I'm in the block logo - snap project.
Okay, you can open this project also in Snap. Okay, but if you open the project in blob, you can unlock the GUI, and then you are going to see Snap. Okay, if you click the right click, shift click Snap, do you see the log GUI option?
Yes, I think I've got all that. I think it's just my system or something's going wrong here. So please carry on.
Okay, okay, good. Okay. And so we are almost ready because we know that we have set up scripts that are run every time we click our script. And when this is done, when running another script, hat is fired. So we need to tell block logo what it has to do before running the script. I mean, we don't just need to do anything, but it's important to add this hat and say that when you run another script, you just run the other script. Okay, this is very important. If not, the script won't be run. Okay, now we can maybe hide the setup sprite from Corral. And I think we have everything ready. Okay, we can just hide again the primitives from the control category. Okay, you can see two scripts here. Everything is hidden in the Corral. The turtle is okay, ready. So we can just click on Snap, shift click on Snap, and select Lock GUI. This language is open again in blob, and this time the stub scripts are not visible. But now, when you click the clear screen, hide turtle, and the whole scripts, it works and it runs. So that's how you build a block language. You can build it in Snap and then import it, open it in blob. You can change what you need in blob by unlocking the GUI and hiding what you don't need from the Corral, or putting back what you need in the Corral, okay? And this, you can hide the blocks, and you can also hide auxiliary blocks, something, for example, your custom block, if else, you could hide it, something that is not available in Snap. And then you lock your environment again, and you are ready. When you save this version of the project, you have a very simple file menu. When you save this project and you reopen the project in blob, everything is still ready to run a new version, a new program in your language. For example, by selecting new, I get an empty block log environment with just one turtle. I can have maybe multiple turtles every time I click on plus. This is just a copy of the basic sprite. Okay. So in order to build your block logo, you have to create your custom blocks, as I said, in Snap or in blob. This is your choice. Then you open everything in blob and add the configuration scripts with the important blocks we had already shown. I'm unlocking the GUI to show you again the blocks and also showing the primitives. When loading, and never stop. When running another script, run other scripts, and you can put all you need here inside. And then this is a block I specifically built for the HTML language. I can go back maybe couple of slides just to show you that, yes, when I run the input HTML interface, at the end of this interface, I have to go to the insert PHP script. So I can just say at the end, run first script of this other sprite. So I can pass the control from one sprite to another. Okay, we have 10 more minutes. If you want to see something more complex, maybe we can see how Block C has been implemented, always in Snap 6.0.0. And sorry, I think it was Simon, sorry, saying that he had trouble with couldn't see the blob blocks. Is there someone else that couldn't see those blocks? Just to me to see if I have to.
I think it's just me that's having problems, so we'll sort it out later.
Okay, good, excellent. Okay, sorry, I don't see my, okay, pointer, okay, to move the chat. And so we can go to maybe Snap, sorry, what's the best? Oh, no, maybe we just want to open it in blob. Blob HTML again, because we can run all these versions or these languages. Okay, always file menu, open again. And then maybe we can, okay, let's see, workshop materials, blob, yes, that's the right folder. We can go to the advanced exercises. It can take a while, but I'm hoping to make it very, very fast very soon. Even closing other windows can be a good idea because of the memory footprint of version 5, as I said. So I'm closing all the windows. Let's see if it loads in a reasonable time. Much, much slower, as you can see, in blob than it was in Snap 6. I think this is maybe okay. I can wait. Usually after it asks me if I want to wait, it loads the language. Takes too much. No. So I want to close this and use the 6.00 version of Snap. It's much, much faster. So Snap 6.00 in the workshop materials folder, then index HTML again. And I can open from the same folder, advanced exercises. Okay, much faster, incredibly faster. So here you have a addition program, echo program, and that's the program on which we are going to concentrate because it's very, very simple. And I want just to show you that everything, oh, sorry, where? Okay, here we go. Everything I've done to realize block C is just something that is already available in Snap, because you can build a list, you can look something in the list, you can assign variables, and everything is ready maybe to build a printf command. And so let's see, where is it? Okay, here, printf, right click, and then edit. Okay, you see here a lot of stuff, but much of this stuff is just to make it work correctly, giving to you the correct warnings and error messages, because really the printf command is just a question of adding something to a list, because as you saw, our output device is just a list. So we created a list, and this list is always emptied in the C+ environment auxiliary sprite that we hide when we run it in blob. And when we want to print something, we are just to add this content to the last line in the output list. Here you have a lot of controls. This is if you have maybe embedded this block inside a function, so you have to exit if the function has returned. And if you don't have included maybe a library, you have to tell the standard IO library, you have to tell your user that printf cannot be used because it doesn't know how it works until you include the library. And you cannot run it outside of a main structure, a main function, because this is a compulsory in C. So if you run it outside, it says, I'm sorry, you cannot use it outside the main. But basically, this is what is done, just adding something to a list. If it is not empty, I'm sorry, this is a very old control, a very old condition. Maybe this is not necessary now in the latest version of Snap, and I don't know. So this is what was prepared at the time. And you can implement libraries. How? Just including libraries in a list. And if the block include is run, you can check inside the printf if it contains the standard IO string. Okay, this is just a restriction. And you can implement typed variables. How? Well, very easily, just using several lists. So a list for the variable names, another list for the variable types, and finally a list for the values of the variables. Okay, here you see that we use a full var name, and we join something coming from the first element of the environment list. What is this? This is just to allow to manage a stack of variables, that is, variables that are maybe redeclared inside a function, and so on with different levels of variables. And we can also do the assignment and manage a main function that will basically run everything is inside its main argument. So these are the basics of creating your own block language. Please try to make your experiments. by using the materials you downloaded. And I hope to be able to release very soon the 6.0 versions of Blob that will be much, much faster than the present version. Okay, so let me go back to you. Okay. I think we are really on perfect time, but if you have some question, please ask. You can also use the chat if you want. Okay. Okay. Manuel was happy about the workshop. I'm very happy he liked it. Thanks, Sean. Thank you to you. Thanks, Vincent. Thanks, everyone. And as you have seen, you don't need to know how Snap works inside. You can build your own block language. It will work in Blob, and your user will be able to use it without any kind of trouble. Okay, 6:01. I think I'm a minute late, so see you soon for the next. Okay, and if you want, I have a very different talk this evening about a different project for building educational tools for kids at school, in the schools during the lockdown for COVID-19. See you soon. Bye.